Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is April 10th, 2018. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCAB Live channel. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Koontz, your host for the next hour. Steve Hare, my news director, your news director, everybody's news director to my immediate left. Good to see you, my friend.
Am I presentable?
You look fine.
Okay,
you look great. Kat is in control. Happy Tuesday. It's good to have you on board. Tom Nees, Executive Director of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, will be our guest in the second half.
We serve Wenatchee Valley, right?
What did I say?
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
No, he's not the Executive Director of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
You are,
I am the Executive Director of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. So we're off to a rip-roaring start. He's the Executive Director of Serve Wenatchee Valley. There. How are you?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay so far.
We now present Kuka, Fran, and Ollie already in progress. We're just going to go take a nap. Truth be told, we got here extra early today. We did an experimental, for lack of a better term, half-hour-long edition of this program between 5 and 5:30 this morning for reasons that you don't need to know about, but we just needed to work out a few bugs. So extra early day for us.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we have the real news.
Now we have the real news and the real sport. We repeated yesterday's show, is what we did. The same elements anyway. But everything here is brand fresh and new, and we're ready to go get them on this Tuesday. Busy day for us. Busy broadcasting day. First time we've ever done this, Steve, a baseball soccer doubleheader.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have tonight here on the NCAB Live channel with our news sandwiched between the two events. So, at 4 o'clock today, live from Historic Recreation Park, it is Wenatchee and Eisenhower High School baseball. Again, that's at 4 o'clock when the game ends. We'll do the news with Grant Olson. And then 7-ish or so, we go back on. Right next door to Historic Recreation Park is Historic Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. And we have Wenatchee High School against Sunnyside in boys soccer.
Oh, wonderful.
So a unique doubleheader.
Hey, both teams are doing well.
Both teams are doing very well. The Wenatchee Panther boys baseball team is undefeated in league play. They didn't play last week. They had last week off. The Wenatchee boys soccer team, they've lost a couple of games, but that's cool. They're still playing well.
Right.
And they're playing well. By the way, this is now the second half of the prep season. Let you know how deep into spring we're going. All the local prep teams who participate in spring sports are now in the second half of their schedule starting this week.
Wow.
So, weather forecast is coming. What's that?
Time flies.
Time flies. It is lightly drizzling outside of our studios and 43 degrees. Weather forecast is coming up. We got a little bit of everything coming your way. Also, we have Steve with the news. A lot of news. Busy news day yesterday around the newsroom. We got sports, as you might imagine. The obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And Tom Nees, the Executive Director of Serve Wenatchee Valley, will be my guest in the second half of the program. You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Element number one, around the valley we go with our Valley View cameras.
Boy,
courtesy.
what a difference a couple hours makes.
Yeah,
huh?
when we did this show an hour ago, it was dark. It's not dark anymore. All of these cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet.
A little bit of haze over Birch Mountain this morning, huh?
Yep, everybody's getting some light rain. I just poked my head out the door not 5 minutes ago, and it's drizzling. Just really light, but it's drizzling. There's a little weak cold front that's coming in. It's bringing us some rain. Not a lot of rain today, but we're going to get a little bit of rain and some gusty winds on Wednesday. We've got some slides to show you from the National Weather Service when we get to that element. Camera 2, courtesy of Kat, our producer. She decided that Jump Off Ridge will be batting second in our order today.
Look how green those hills are.
Those cameras are spectacular, but I got to be honest with you, they don't really do the views justice. A lot of people love these views. We love them. We just love doing these views, but to really be up there is something else entirely. That's high up.
Yeah, that's really looking down on Three Lakes Golf Course there.
You can see Three Lakes Golf Course. You can see the Stemilt Basin, of course, and way off in the distance, the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. Camera number 2 was Jump Off Ridge. Camera 3 takes us to, that is Union Valley. That is Union Valley. That's pointed up lake just a little bit, Steve.
Lake Chelan.
Lake Chelan. We can move these cameras around. We can do what we want to with them, pretty much for the most part. We don't have a complete 360 ability. It's about 345, because if we go all the way around, then we get the support towers and the guy wires and things like that to hold the cameras up. So good morning to...
Fairly healthy snowpack up there.
It looks that way, doesn't it? And camera number 4 is Bailey Goat.
Yeah, our favorite. Our favorite image.
Our favorite. Without question, the highest camera we have is 6,800 feet above sea level, the mighty Columbia. You can see Pateris, you can see Brewster, Around the corner from Brewster, tucked in there, is beautiful Bridgeport. You can see the Alta Lake Golf Course at the bottom of your screen.
You can even see Brewster up there, too.
Yeah, you can see Brewster, right? Brewster's basically right smack dab in the middle of your screen, and way off in the distance is Canada.
And Mount Kalispell.
Mount Kalispell. That's Kalispell with a C, by the way, for those of you curious about that. So those are our cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet, and that means you don't have to have fiber to your house to get screaming fast internet. In fact, you can live out in the middle of nowhere. If you live in that area that you just saw, the Billy Goat camera, as long as you can see that tower from your house, and I think you can get it. That's how it works.
I'll tell you what, folks in Douglas and Chelan County, now in Grant County, have that Local-Tel service, and it's really nice.
I got friends who have cabins in the middle of nowhere, and they have high-speed internet because of what they can be able to do nowadays.
We're pretty lucky here.
Yes, we are. Very lucky indeed. From the National Weather Service, your forecast. As I mentioned before, it's drizzling lightly outside of our studios. We're going to get rain off and on today. It's just a brisk little cold front.
What was the high yesterday?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have that information.
Boy, it felt like it was 65 at least.
Yeah, I think it was in the lower 60s. I don't think we got to 65, and I'm sorry. I don't have that information at the top of my fingertips. Although my computer says new messages are available. I'll look at that later. So rain this morning between basically 9 a.m. to noon, and then by the time we get to baseball at 4 o'clock, it'll be partly sunny. That's not bad, but the one thing that I'm a little worried about is the wind. Let's bring up a couple of graphics from the National Weather Service. This is your rain today, your precipitation, so look out where you're at and just add it all up. So not a lot of rain here in the Wenatchee Valley, as you can see there. Most of the rain will be this morning, kind of hit and miss, as it says there. Look at the snow levels, though. The snow levels is important because Stevens is going to get some snow. We'll get to that in a little bit overnight tonight. But let's look at the wind. Could get a little gusty at times today. These are your peak winds, not your sustained winds. So every once in a while we could get a peak wind up there above 20 at times. Again, most of that will be later on in the afternoon as this cold front exits the area. It takes the clouds with us. It shoves the rain off to the east, but it's going to have some residual winds coming in.
If it's like Sunday, we may miss it, huh?
Yeah, it's funny how that happened.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get a lot of wind on Master Sunday, and it simply never happened. So that's your peak gust potential for today. Now, tomorrow, we're looking at rain and snow in the upper elevations. I don't know if you can make that out, Steve, but Stevens Pass is expecting over 1 foot of snow tomorrow.
Wow.
So just a little heads up on there.
April 11th?
April 11th, and they're going to get some snow up on Stevens Pass. Certainly not unheard of. Tomorrow's chance of rain is about 70%. We could get between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of rain on Wednesday. Unlike today, it's flip-flop. Today we're going to have rain in the morning and sun in the afternoon. Tomorrow, it's going to be the exact opposite. All that rain we're going to get on Wednesday is going to be in the afternoon, not in the morning. And then as we go back to our beginning graphic, as you can see, we go to partly sunny skies here and there. Just unsettled weather. It's typical mid-April weather. The only consistent thing that you see across the board there, Steve, is your afternoon highs. All of those are below normal. Our normal afternoon high on this date and for most of this week is 62 degrees. Looks like we're not going to get there this week. The overnight lows, by the way, are about normal. And a little something I learned from my good friend Michael Tucker Wagner, one of our top content producers. You love Tucker. I love Tucker. He's a wonderful coworker. But I don't lock my work computer. I don't lock it. When I'm done for the day and I leave, I just simply turn off the monitors, but I leave the computer on.
Right.
I don't shut it off. I don't lock it. So people, if they need to get into my computer, I don't have any problem with that. Well, when you don't lock your computer and you work with smart, technologically advanced people, they get into your computer and do things to it.
Oh,
like
yes.
change your back. Yeah. That was on my desktop this morning.
Look at those pink cheeks.
Oh. So this tells me one of two things. Tucker is very, very creative, and he has way too much time on his hands.
I didn't know that you had a Snapchat account, Jimmy.
So I don't lock my computer, and Tucker went in and changed my desktop background to that after I left work yesterday.
You make a nice suffragette.
Thank goodness I can carry
Kind
that
of look
look.
a little bit like Lily Tomlin.
Oh, how old are you? It's 9.5 minutes after the hour. Light rain, 43 degrees. Again, rain this morning, sun this afternoon, a little windy, and a high of 60. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, provided this show is still on the air, don't touch the 8-ball, Steve. Don't touch the bobblehead, Steve. Steve Hare will have your news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Honda makes jets, robots, lawnmowers, motorcycles, boat motors. They're so well known and have a history of making quality machines and engines that's why we're willing to put on our automobiles a lifetime warranty. You know, some manufacturers, if they put this warranty on their vehicles, they'd lose money. Not with Honda. If you're betting against a Honda, you're a bad gambler. They're really well known for winning. My name is David Gonzalez, and I'm a product specialist at Apple Valley Honda.
Your home for the 2018 Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is the NCW Life Channel. Be sure to watch the Kais Fiber Youth Parade Saturday, April 28th, the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade on Friday, May 4th, and the Stemilk Growers Grand Parade Saturday, May 5th, right here. Brought to you by Allville Fruit, home of the Gee Whiz brand, where passion meets flavor. And by Bay Equity Home Loans, your home for loans.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And here's what's happening on this Tuesday, the 10th day of April, around north central Washington. In the news, a Grant County Sheriff's deputy was involved in a four-vehicle crash yesterday in the Moses Lake area. State troopers say it happened on State Route 17 yesterday morning, about a mile north of town. 3 vehicles had stopped for traffic control in a construction zone. Well, the deputy failed to stop. His patrol vehicle rear-ended the vehicle in front, causing a chain reaction crash with the other 2 vehicles. Now, the highway was blocked for over an hour until the wreckage was removed. Only 1 injury, and that was the deputy. And he was apparently taken to the hospital. We don't know the condition or the extent of those injuries, but again, we'll have more on that a little later on our 5 o'clock news with Grant Olson. Well, it just happens to be National Work Zone Awareness Week. The Washington State Department of Transportation yesterday placed 60 traffic barrels, 1 for each of the workers killed in a work zone incident since 1950 in Washington State. This is near the state capitol on the campus grounds there. Message this week to motorists: slow down, move over, stay alert near those work zones. Also, a loud explosion startled residents living near the Moses Lake Municipal Airport last night. Police say it happened around 9 p.m. when a controlled charge was detonated in that area. The charge was set by the Richland Bomb Squad to destroy an improvised explosive device that had been located by Moses Lake police officers during a search warrant. Police say the controlled blast was quite loud and was reported by quite a few people in town. But again, that was the Richland Bomb Squad setting off that charge. Well, the parents of a missing Wenatchee woman have organized a fundraiser to help them continue with that search. Sherry Whittle and David Moore appeared yesterday on NCW Life Channel to talk about their daughter Jessie, who disappeared about 2 years ago. Police say the case has gone cold after they've exhausted all the leads. Sherry holds out hope that Jessie can be found. She's hoping for the best, but she also says she's prepared for the worst.
I believe that foul play is involved. I believe that she has passed away.
Okay.
And I don't know who's responsible for that, but I know that some of the people that she had been around are not the type of people that you'd want your daughter to be around or anybody else to be around. And I mean, I have names, but I don't want to talk about anybody really because I don't have any proof of anything. And so it's really hard to, I don't think there's ever been an official suspect in the case. I don't know if, I know that the police and I have, and we've talked about different people, of course, over and over again, but it keeps going back to the same people, but there's no evidence of anything. Now, they have searched 3 lakes twice for her body, but they didn't find anything.
Now, Jessie's parents are now seeking the community's help through a benefit auction that's coming up later this month.
We have the fundraiser coming up on it's April 22nd at the Eagle. It's going to be a silent auction. We've had a lot of people donate a lot of stuff.
Looking here at the list of businesses and individuals that are donating items, and it's really quite long.
Right, and we really appreciate everybody. And we're going to try to take that money and try to get some more answers to find out what happened with Jessie. I mean, that's the main goal with this. So,
Sherry and David are both thankful for the efforts, the ongoing efforts of the Wenatchee Police Department in that search and the ongoing investigation. Police say they welcome any information that would help that investigation and search for Jesse Rubio. Also, the Wenatchee Valley Mall has a new owner. The New York-based Namdar LLC acquired the East Wenatchee Shopping Center from Vintage Real Estate of Sherman Oaks, California. Sale closed last week, according to a company official. Namdar owns over 15 million feet of commercial real estate across the country. Mason Asset Management, a real estate investment and advisory company with nearly 30 million square feet of commercial investments, will manage that property for Namdar. Their online portfolios say the two companies share more than 20 properties across the country. Some good news and some bad news in the latest unemployment report from the State Employment Security Department. The good news is that total non-farm employment here in the Wenatchee metropolitan area increased or stabilized year over year in each of the past 70 months. That's May 2012 through February 2018. The downside is that job growth rates locally have lagged behind statewide job growth rates for the past 20 months. Wenatchee area unemployment has also fallen 1.3% from 8.2% in February of 2016 to 6.9% in February this year. Wenatchee MSA's unemployment rate also decreased 0.6 of a percentage point between the Februarys of 2017 and 2018. Also, in closing today, a fascinating program is slated for tonight at the Pybus Public Market in Wenatchee. A local physician, member of the group Doctors Without Borders, is the featured lecturer. Dan Koontz talked to her recently on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
On a recent visit to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Johnson gave me a preview of her lecture at the Pybus Public Market and also spoke of how she became involved with Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF.
Well, at the talk, I'm going to be presenting what MSF is, what it's all about, what we do, why we're there. But also, probably the most important part is you're going to get firsthand pictures of someone who's there, who's been there for the last 3 years. I've been on 3 different missions. Well, actually 4, but in 3 different countries. So I've been in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I've been in Central African Republic, and then I just got off the search and rescue boat in the Mediterranean, which was based in Sicily, but we were located off the coast of Libya in international waters. So you're going to get first-hand experience, first-hand pictures that have never been seen by anybody.
After your first trip, during your very first trip with MSF, did you think to yourself, what did I sign? What did I get myself into? Did you have one of those moments, or do you just, this has got to get done and I'm in it. I'm in it all the way, elbow deep?
No, I knew that I really wanted to do it. I just knew in my soul, in my heart of hearts, that I wanted to do it. And it was even better when I was there. My first mission was 9 months. I actually extended in months. I was there for 10 months. I was an outreach nurse supervisor, which means that I wasn't working exactly in the local hospital, but going out several times a week in land cruisers, taking care, medications, support, supplies to people that were out in the bush who would have never had access to care otherwise. And so I just knew that it was my calling, it was what I love. Saving people's lives and meeting extraordinary people, and it was just me. The
class starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Registration is free by logging on to pybuspublicmarket.org. For NCW Life News, I'm Dan Koontz.
Also sounds like they're going to have to add a few chairs to that.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest Pybus universities they've had in quite some time. They do Pybus University every Tuesdays at 7. I know they've had a lot of people register in advance. The event is free. You register in advance just so they know how many chairs to put out. And if for whatever reason you can't make it, our very own Rachel Sullivan, one of our top content producers, she films these, and we air these on a regular basis. So Pybus University is one of those programs that you can watch anytime when it's actually on television, or as we like to say in the business, TV, but it's also available on demand on our website. So if you go to our website at ncwlife.com, on the far right-hand side, you'll see Watch, and then you have 2 choices, Watch Live, which is right now. Tom Nees' dad is watching right now in Montana. Did you know that?
Is that right?
Yeah. Or you can watch on demand, and you just drop down, and all of our shows are there. This show is there, and the 12th District, and Street Talk, and other stuff. Why you'd watch that, I don't know. Life with Lisa, Pybus University, Arbiter of Stoke, Guada TV, I'm missing programs, I'm drawing blanks, but if it's a program that we originate, and we do here on the NCW Life channel, you can watch it. You can watch sporting events. We have about 50 sporting events that are available to watch.
And we're portable.
Yep, portable. Yep, you can take us with us. So it's all right there. And late in the afternoon, early in the evening, you can watch the news with Grant Olson. A friendly reminder today, Grant's News will air after the baseball game, but before the soccer game, our 2 live sporting events. And if you want to be a part of the news team, you ain't going to get paid, but we sure would appreciate it. Steve, do the honors.
Absolutely. We're always looking for stringers out there. And you're our eyes and ears out there, folks. Tell us what's happening. First of all, on our hotline, if you see breaking news going on, then give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295 for the NCW Live hotline. Contact us on our website, ncwlife.com. Just click the little Contact Us tab at the top of the page there. Contact us on Facebook or Twitter, and as always, our email is a good way to get a hold of us. Address is news@ncwlife.com.
Light rain, 45 degrees, overcast and rainy this morning, sunny and breezy this afternoon. That is your forecast. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Wenatchee's opinion, and Tom Nees, the executive director of Sir Wenatchee Valley. It's a busy 39 minutes still to go. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 10 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
22 minutes after the hour. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. It's time for sports. It's going to be a busy Tuesday all over the world of prep sports, but first, a wrap-up of yesterday's results. In tennis, Wenatchee boys and girls took care of the Eisenhower Cadets. The Wenatchee boys swept the Cadets 7-0. The Wenatchee girls took care of business with a 6-1 victory. Quincy and Chelan split. The Jackrabbit boys coming out on top. The Chelan girls won on the other side of the bracket. And in B play in tennis, Pateras topped Aniat 4-1. All right, the prep schedule for today. We'll start out with baseball. Wenatchee will be hosting Eisenhower at Rec Park, 4 o'clock live right here on the NCW Live channel. Our very own Eric Grandstrom will call the action. Chelan is at Warden. That also starts at 4. Cashmere is up Highway 2. They'll take on Cascade at 4:30. These are all single games. Also a 4:30 first pitch. Manson is going to be at Soap Lake, and Waterville-Mansfield will host Bridgeport on the Diamond this afternoon. To the softball Diamond we go. Wenatchee will travel to Eisenhower for a single game at 4 o'clock. Cascade will host Cashmere at 4:30. Manson is at Soap Lake, and Bridgeport is at Waterville-Mansfield. All of this girls softball, all of these at 4:30. On the pitch, boys soccer. Manson will host Tenasket. Chelan is at Okanagan. Cascade will host Omak. All of those are at 4:30. And then tonight at 7 o'clock live, if you can't make it to Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl, you can watch the Wenatchee Panthers take on Sunnyside right here live on the NCW Live channel. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Weisen will have the call. The first time these two teams met down in Sunnyside back in the middle of March, Sunnyside got the better of the Panthers 1-0. Big soccer game live here tonight at 7 o'clock. But you really want to be at Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Great atmosphere for high school soccer. Here's a look what we have for the NCW Live sports schedule, broadcast-wise, for the rest of the week. As we mentioned, it's a unique doubleheader. We got high school baseball, Wenatchee and Eisenhower at Rec Park at 4 o'clock, followed by boys soccer, Wenatchee taking on Sunnyside at the Apple Bowl at 7 o'clock tonight. Hockey night on Thursday will feature Game 4 of the playoffs between Wenatchee and Trail. That is Thursday night at 7 o'clock on Friday. More soccer. Eastmont will be hosting Moses Lake. We'll have that game live right here on the NCW Life channel. On Saturday, boys lacrosse. The Wenatchee Valley Thunder takes on North Central at 2 o'clock at Lee Boffitt Field at the Apple Bowl on Saturday afternoon. Yes, we'll have that game live as well. And that'll be followed by Wenatchee and Trail. Game 5 of their playoff series will be at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Jacob Junis helps Kansas City pitchers throw a 2-hit shutout of the Mariners last night. The Royals won. The final was 10-0. Marco Gonzalez had a bad outing. He allowed 4 runs and 8 hits, 4 strikeouts. The Mariners dropped to 4-4 on the season. The two teams will play again 5:15 first pitch. King Felix will take the mound for the Mariners, and that is sports at 25 minutes after the hour. It's April 10th. Time for the Obscure Holiday, and today is National Sibling Day. And there we are. There's my brothers and sisters and myself. That photo dates from 1971. There we are, 1971. I had bangs. What happened to that? I haven't had bangs in 30 years. That's a vintage photo. This photo here is a little bit more recent of my brothers and sisters. There we are. This photo was actually taken about 3 years ago. National Sibling Day. Cherish your brothers and sisters. I'm lucky all of my brothers and sisters like each other. We all get along. We love it when we all get together. It's not always the case. There are siblings who are estranged from each other, which is bizarre to me. I can't quite figure that out. And it's a special day if you have siblings. Sometimes I feel sorry for people who are only children, because I loved having brothers and sisters, and of course I had a lot of them. So if you have brothers or sisters or siblings, you live locally, try and spend time with them. And if they live out of town, touch base with them any way you can. It is National Sibling Day today, and there's my brothers and sisters on this obscure holiday. Let's do today in history. It is April 10th. 203 years ago, it was the largest volcanic eruption ever recorded in human history. The Mount Tambora volcano in Indonesia erupted. The top 4,500 feet of the mountain simply blew away, and then it continued to erupt for the next 3 months. Estimated people killed in this volcanic eruption, 71,000 people. Earth's climate was affected for the next 2 years. The next summer, the summer of 1816, was known all over the northern hemisphere of Earth as the year without a summer, was also known as a volcanic winter. They had so much junk in the air that the sun couldn't reach down to the earth. It was unbelievably cold the summer of 1816. Crops failed, livestock died. There was, in fact, the worst famine of the 19th century happened because of that volcano, which erupted on this date in Indonesia on April 10th, 1815. April 10th, 1912, 106 years ago, the Titanic set sail from Southampton Dock in England on its way to New York on its maiden voyage, the Titanic. And in 4 more days, you'll hear from me again about that. We all know what happened. And this is a big day in the history of rock and roll music, big day in the history of popular culture everywhere. April 10th, 1970, 48 years ago today, Paul McCartney announced that he is leaving the Beatles for personal and professional reasons. Ironically enough, the other 3 Beatles, John, George, and Ringo, at one time or another over the previous year and a half had left the group, only to be coaxed back into the fold by Paul. When Paul left the group, John, George, or Ringo didn't try and talk him back into it. In the previous October, John had already told his other 3 bandmates in a private meeting he was going to leave the group. But he said, we have all of these business entanglements, and there's so many different people who have their fingers in the Beatles' pie. I'm not going to make my announcement public until we can get all of this straightened out, because it's going to take a while. Paul beat him to the punch. Paul McCartney quit the Beatles, and the Beatles ceased to exist on this date 48 years ago. And finally, we got birthdays, 2 of them. He'll always be known as Colonel Sherman T. Potter on MASH. He was also Officer Bill Gannon on Dragnet, talking, of course, about Harry Morgan, born April 10th, 1915, passed away at the age of 96 back in 2011, won an Emmy Award for his role as Colonel Sherman Potter in MASH. He was in over 100 movies. He played Ulysses S. Grant in How the West Was Won. Harry Morgan, an outstanding comedic actor, outstanding dramatic actor. Officer Bill Gannon on Dragnet is how I first got to know him. And of course, Colonel Potter. Harry Morgan was born in this state in 1915. And one of my favorite authors, David Halberstam. David Halberstam was born in this state in 1934, passed away at the age of 73 in 2007. He's written a bunch of books. He wrote a bunch of books, I should say. He's been gone now for 9 years. But if you want any sort of general knowledge or even in-depth knowledge of the Vietnam War, there's one book only to read, and it's called The Best and the Brightest. It's one of the best books I have ever read, and it's about how we got into the morass that was Vietnam. Very smartly told. One of America's greatest authors, David Halberstam, was born on this date. 30 minutes after the hour. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. His topic today is Donald Trump, gentleman you may have heard of. Mike McNally's commentary is coming up. And then Tom Nees, the executive director of Sir Wenatchee Valley, in this studio. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Lehman Williams, General Manager of Crown Furniture, and I'm inviting you to take advantage of our spring closeout savings event. Save up to 45% off store-wide. Since 1963, Crown Furniture has taken great pride in providing unsurpassed quality, comfort, and selection. So if you're looking to fill that first-time apartment, or you want that built-in America quality with your own custom flair, stop by today and see us at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
Hi there, my name is Patrick, and I'm the branch manager here at New American Funding. Applying for a home loan is an exciting time. You may have a lot of questions about how to meet your home loan goals, the loan process, or your borrowing options. We're here to help. We do things differently here at New American Funding. Not only do we have an array of loan products and a team of specialists to support you, but we get to know you personally. We want to earn your trust and business for life. So stop by our Wenatchee or Chelan office or give us a call today.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the Golfer's Edge to get the Golfer's Edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, when it comes to women, President Trump is a pig. I'm sorry. His disrespectful attitude towards women is just beyond the pale. Now, Bill Clinton, he's also a pig for similar reasons. I'm sorry. His willingness to use his power and position to sexually exploit a subordinate in the Oval Office, for all places, comes from the same attitude of disrespect towards women, which is expressed by our current president. Now, this is why, like them or not, I have respect for guys like George W. Bush and Barack Obama, for who all appearances are faithful and respectful husbands and good fathers to their daughters. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
So hi, I'm Adam McDonald, and I teach history here at Wenatchee High School. If this bond were to pass, the idea of having a classroom where all of my students can fit comfortably, where I'm not making sacrifices, where I have students that can see natural light and have that uplift, where I have the ability to design my classroom in a way that reflects the best practice rather than what I have to make do with, that would make a godsend.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Is your inefficient home comfort system wasting money? This Lennox dealer can help.
Save money on your energy bills with an efficient Lennox system from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Get up to $1,700 in rebates or special financing.
Thursday night, hockey night on the NCW Life Channel. It all begins at 7 o'clock with a Call of the Wild and Clarkie's Corner. Then it's non-stop hockey action with a voice of the Wild, Arch Ecker. Join us as the Wild battle the rest of the BCHL. Thursday night is hockey night on the NCW Life Channel.
Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles are proven off-road. Designed, engineered, and tested in the real world, they provide the best balance of off-road capability, comfort, and confidence, delivering performance that is truly proven off-road.
And we are back at 36 minutes after the hour. Whenever Tom Nees gives me an email or rings me up and says, Dan, can I be on the show? I always say yes, because I'm not an idiot. And Tom is a great guest, and he's drinking some mighty fine coffee, I see.
Right here.
Yeah. How was our coffee this morning?
Every so often, I've got to come and get a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, we do a good job here, don't we?
You do.
We actually grind our own beans and everything. They treat us well here. Austin, one of our top tech support guys. Well, one of our tech support guys. He's the first one in most mornings, and he brews the first pot of coffee. He does a good job. So
kudos.
Thank you, thank you. And that is your second mug, Tom? Is that correct?
Or so.
Or so. I mean, you can have as many mugs as you want.
Yeah.
So for the first time,
I'm kind of collecting a set.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tom Nees is Executive Director of Wenatchee Valley. And for our first-time guests who appear for the first time ever on the show, we give them a nice little NCW Life Channel mug, one of a kind, that you get to keep, and you already have your mug.
Yeah, but you know, I started this gig in August with Serve Wenatchee Valley, and I'm still the new guy.
Yeah, you are still
And so
the new
every
guy.
time I come in, I feel like it's a brand new experience, and so I get a new mug because this is my first time.
Oh, well, let's catch up since the last time I saw you. When was the last time I saw you?
Well, it probably was back at Night in the Box.
Night in the Box, that's right.
Yeah,
That was in
I think
November.
We saw each other back in November.
That's right. I interviewed you, and we did the North Dakota song.
Yeah, the North Dakota, and I didn't know the lyrics, but
Yeah.
I had the coveralls on, so it worked.
So it's been 6 months. How are things? I hate to say it, but you're probably busy, which quite frankly isn't good. But
yeah, no, it's always good. I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love being part of a mission-driven organization in our community that is reaching out and serving the community. Love that. I love learning. You know, when I was in 8th grade, I had a teacher come for a little lyceum. You know, that was a presenter that came, and she said, determine in your mind to never again be as stupid as you are today.
That's good.
And I thought, that is just fantastic. And so what that kind of created in me is that I want to be a lifelong learner. I want to learn something every day. I want to learn something every year and not be as stupid as I am tomorrow. Or I don't want to ever be this dumb again. So, so I've been learning. You know, that's what I've been doing. Still in my year of first. This is my first April.
Is there any one lesson that is really stuck with you since you took over in August of last year with Executive Director of Serve Wenatchee Valley? Something you had no idea about the job, and now, is there any one thing that?
No, I don't think so.
Just a bunch of little stuff.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of little things. Yeah.
So you're building the pyramid.
Yeah, just just a little bit, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know, because this is something that has been built over time, and we are not a culture that enjoys pace and process. We want things done very quickly.
Yeah, it's our microwave society that we live in now.
Yep, you've got a problem. You know, it's like the sitcom or that 2-hour movie. You've got an antagonist and a protagonist, and they come together and they fight, and the whole thing is solved in 2 hours. And I love the picture of being part of something that's bigger than myself, and being able then to grow through that. So.
Do you ever have a day, Tom, where you get up and you say, I just don't want to go to the office today? That ever happen?
No, that never happens.
That is great.
It truly never happens. I'm always excited to get into the office and see our wonderful staff and be there. Now, I said to my wife the other day, I am so over my head. But that, to me, in my faith, is a good thing, because I remember a quote by Oswald Chambers, one of my literary mentors, who once said, if you've never done anything that is impossible, or if God has never asked you to do anything impossible, I doubt you've ever heard from him at all. And that picture then just simply reminds me that this is bigger than myself, and I just get to contribute.
There's another great saying, it's amazing what you can do if you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you just have to do it, it's amazing what you can accomplish. Yeah. People associate Serve Wenatchee Valley with two significant events: the Back to School Clothing Drive, which is held in mid-August, and then the Baskets of Blessing, which is held around Thanksgiving. And then you kind of fall off the radar, which is why you're here in April and not in November. It's not just those two things. Those are your two highest profile events that everybody knows with, but I got the list here. Thank goodness you have a staff.
Yeah, there's no question. And when you say fall off the radar, I think what we fall off the radar in is the community, the broader community awareness of what it is that we do. We'd never fall off the radar of the folks that we're serving, because we are there to meet with folks every day. We serve over the course of a year somewhere averaging between 3,000 and 3,500 families.
You just said 3,000 to 3,500 families a year, and I just went,
yeah.
And I'm going to do that again. That comes out to 60 some odd a week. I'm doing the math in my head. I'm terrible at math. Is that?
It is. Yeah, it's and that is done in a collaborative, collective way where we have the opportunity. So some of those families we serve with direct services. Some of them we refer because we are a collaborative, connecting, bridge-building organization that takes a look at a family, identifies what their needs are, and we get them connected with the resources to help them get through the crisis that they're facing.
Well, that leads to my next question, which is obvious. How do people end up on the Serve Wenatchee Valley radar? How do you two get together on that initial?
Word of mouth is really the biggest, but we also have created relationships with other nonprofit organizations in the community, and many of them will make referrals because they understand what we do. And so the different community organizations that come across a need, they will refer. And one of the ways that we get together, for instance, once a month we have an interagency meeting where we all get together. There's nonprofits that all gather in a big circle, and we just share our story. If we've got a flyer, we hand that out. But I think that's indicative of who we are as a community, that we have a collaborative care for our community. Serve Wenatchee's a part of that. And people become aware then that are serving in those, serving vulnerable populations, to be able to refer.
The number 3,500 a year surprised me. Does it surprise you, or is that just another day at the office
No,
for Tom?
that surprises me.
Okay.
Yeah, that surprises me, the volume. And again, if you would look at that as Serve Wenatchee Valley providing direct services for all 3,500, that's an overwhelming endeavor. But when you take that and you have a collective view of the community that's working together to meet the needs of families, then it's not so overwhelming.
Well, let me draw you a scenario, and you can walk me through what you would take it. Young couple, brand new baby, small apartment. They're young. They're working, but they can barely put food on the table. Tom, help! We're overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to take care of my baby from a health care deal? How do I make sure I'm feeding the kid healthy? I can't afford diapers. Whatever. Just throwing it out there. That's just a scenario that I'm sure you're familiar with. And then in comes Sir Wenatchee Valley, and you would do what at that point?
When this family would first come in, we would do an intake, and this intake we sit down and learn exactly what the particulars are, where it is that they're living, where their income is coming from, where their expense, what's going out, and then identify what kind of assistance that they currently have. We also identify their social network because poverty is typically viewed as a lack of resources in very material form. But I really think that poverty, also the component of poverty, is social capital, that there's a relational capital. And so we want to understand where their relational capital, are they connected with a church in the community that possibly could? And then through that, we take a look at the entire picture, and we know that right now the crisis they're facing is diapers, and we've got a couple of places that we can send them to be able to get diapers. We've got some food, and so we've got multiple food banks in our community that we can direct them to. We find out what they're, where they connected with a doctor. What are they covered? Fortunately, in our, in our state, we've got Apple Health. So are they aware and know of the availability to Apple Health and some of the insurance things that can help them? Where are they doctoring? And through that, then, here's something that we do. You've heard the quote before, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. The third part of that quote that we oftentimes don't hear is the question is, who owns the pond? And Serve Wenatchee Valley understands who owns the pond. And we can then direct them to the place to be able to find those resources. Then we also, are their education needs? Do they have some way to raise their, their level? Do they need some education? Do they need some job training? And we refer them and get them connected with some of those that can further help them.
You mentioned
it's development and crisis response.
You mentioned their socioeconomic situation. What if they say, we have no family here? I have no relatives. I don't have any parents, or not, neither side of the family has any parents living there. That's important to have.
Sure.
To have a support system, and you help them out there as well, right?
We do, and that's one thing that I've seen is families will come in and they feel completely isolated because they have no place to go. They will walk out with their head held a little bit higher, their shoulders back, not slumped, and have a sense that someone cares, that they've got this social network here of someone now that they can go talk to, that they can reach out to. We connect a lot of families with churches, and because that is a part of our faith foundation is connecting with local churches in the community and getting them connected with a faith community that can come alongside of them. To me is a great thing because that expands their network.
Your relationship with governmental agencies, Department of Social and Health Services, what have you, do they refer potential clients or already existing clients to Serve Wenatchee Valley and vice versa?
Yes.
In that situation?
Yes.
Okay.
We are, we're not part of that state program. We are actually 100% donor supported outreach.
Which has its advantages.
It does have its advantages, but so we don't receive federal or state dollars, but we do have a good working relationship, and we understand the value of people that are receiving DSHS and food stamp support that is there, and that's part of that intake where we get a broader understanding of where that support lies. So yes, we do make referrals back and forth.
Talk about your staff. If you don't have a staff of really good people, and most of them have been there forever, I can remember. If you don't have a decent staff, you're nowhere, right?
Yeah. No, we've got Teresa, is our office manager, and she is such an amazing blessing. She carries with her the ability to be able to do the work at the same time to respond to the client. So she's the office manager, and her job is she's placed right there at the front close to the front desk.
Director of First Impressions.
So she is sitting here doing work, and all of a sudden she pops up and goes and responds to a client and interacts. She goes back and she goes back to work again, and I don't know. I'm one of those. Oh, look, a bird, and she's just got that innate ability. Very deeply caring. Kathy Oakes has been there. She would be one that she says she's been there 100 years.
I should have her on this show.
Would love to have her on. Yeah, it would be. She would be a great interview. She warned me, however, when I first stepped on, that the first time you take my picture and publish it, she's quitting. And so I'm not sure how she would do an NCW Live, so don't do that to me. But she's one that knows who owns the pond.
Okay.
She's been doing this, and she's got relationships and connections and networks in our community that serves amazingly. And then we have an amazing board of directors that just continues to guide the overall work of who Serve Wenatchee is in our community. And they have gone through the blessing of me learning how to work with this wingnut over the course of the last 8 months.
We mentioned usually it's the Thanksgiving baskets of blessings and the big back-to-school clothing giveaway. There's more. I have it right here. Annual Dental Day, Gloria Christmas events, Free Furniture Ministry. Furniture is terribly important. We talked about the scenario that I did about the young couple with the baby in the apartment. You need to
Let me give a little bit of verbiage to that.
Go ahead, please.
We have now kind of revamped our furniture ministry into what we call Refind. It's a co-op. And so a family comes in and they are in need of some furniture. First of all, we find out their capacity if they're able to. So we're not going to refuse if you are unable to go and work in the warehouse. But we have the warehouse where folks will go, and every item in the warehouse is priced by the hour. And so there's a 3-hour couch or a 4-hour dishwasher, something like that. And so they're able to go up and they give back and they work at the same time, gaining access to something that they need at home. And so again, I want to be real careful to say that there are scenarios where they are not capable of doing that.
Sure.
They work in the evenings, they do something, and we make exceptions for that to offer without that. But it's created a great community sense of folks that come up and they work in the warehouse, and they've got an elevated sense of pride and ability to
That's a novel
contribute.
idea. I like that.
Yeah, so it really is a good program, and looking to grow that. Of course, the other thing that they'll do is they'll go out and they'll get donations. So if we get a donation request from someone and say, I have a couch, I have, whatever it is that they have, then on Thursday nights when we have Refind, there'll be a volunteer crew that will go out and collect the items that folks have.
What about basic life skill classes? Tom, I can't balance my checkbook. Tom, I'm really bad at doing a budget. That kind of stuff. Can you help me out in that direction?
We have historically had what we call Jobs for Life, which is a job skills program, and you'll probably see that on there as Jobs for Life. That has typically taken place in a January, February sort of a time frame where people will enroll and complete the set of classes, and that would include things like that. One of the things that is my vision is to have a ongoing life skills component to Serve Wenatchee on a perpetual basis. So we find out where life skills classes are going on right now in the community at various churches, and then we've got a complete list of that. So when that comes up, we're able to direct them on an ongoing basis, not just once a year. That's still in development. We're still trying to put the pieces together for that. But we have our antenna up, and we learn and hear from various churches and organizations that are doing those, and we will, let them know that if there's something going on in the community.
Do you have a slow period, or is it always busy? I mean, do you have a certain couple of weeks a year, it's not going to be quite as busy as, say, another time of the year, or are you guys always busy?
Typically, the first part of the month is something that is not quite as busy because you've gotten kind of paycheck, you've been
able to pay the rent,
you've been able to
food.
Take care of some of those things. So that's typically on a monthly level. On a month-to-month, year-round cycle level, there are busier times when we've got a big event. But the busyness just sort of shifts. Right now, my busyness is working on connecting, understanding those connections and being able to, to leverage and take advantage of, and to also offer, who it is that we are. And so it's always busy. I know that I have not had a quote unquote slow time since I started, but it's just kind of moved with the rhythm of our office.
Do you take your work home with you? You know what I mean? Are you able to take your troubles from work and put them on the coat rack when you walk in the front door and kind of leave it behind? Is that part and parcel of the job?
I think it's part of the job, but it's also part of, I think, just who I am. I've been in pastoral ministry now for 23 years. And before that, I was a farmer. And so the career path and the life that I have chosen and been led down is one that I don't let go very easily. It's kind of running in the background all the time. And I know this last weekend I was able to disconnect. My wife and I were able to disconnect, went up to Lake Chelan and spent some time on the end of her spring break. And that felt very refreshing. So I know I need to do that, but I don't do it very well.
Before I forget, we got about 4 minutes left. You want to say hi to your dad there in beautiful Montana?
Hey, Pop! I'm coming to see you once you get moved into that house and you don't put me in a tent in the backyard.
2 quick questions before I cut you loose. Do you still have your little coffee clatch with Father Osmar and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember, you guys all get together?
Matt Canlis.
Matt Canlis.
Father Tenejo.
Yeah, you guys get together.
And David Morrow. We still get
shop?
together.
Yeah.
Yep, we still get together and
I'd love to be a
connect
fly
with
on the wall in
another.
one of those conversations.
No, they're great conversations. The other thing that we're doing, because we are a connecting organization, once a month we have a pastors and ministry leaders luncheon where we just simply get together to do 3 things. We eat, we connect, and we pray. And for about an hour and a half on the 3rd Thursday of every month we get together. There's been somewhere between 40 and 50 pastors, ministry leaders that collect ourselves together at those gatherings. And that's been very enlivening to me to understand just the value of getting to know one another. And that invitation is expanded in this community to all pastors and ministry leaders to come and simply connect and eat together and pray.
We got about 2 minutes left. Let's end on a positive note. Give me a Serve Wenatchee Valley success story.
Oh, great success story.
Give me one.
I'm going to use the name Brian.
Okay.
Brian comes in. He has had an overwhelming set of circumstances, lost 2 key family members in his life. He's a young man, mid-20s. Has really a mental, emotional breakdown because of the connection. He has nobody else in the community here that's connected with. He ends up, through this breakdown, losing his job. Now he's got all of the things that follow losing your job. He comes in to serve Wenatchee, and we're able to interact with him and connect him with some resources. And that support, just coming around him, helped to elevate him. He's now in the hunt for another job, and through this kind of crisis moment, prior to that, he hadn't needed that help because he was working, faced a crisis, come alongside and provide the relational support and the resources he needs to keep him in his home. And now he's taking that next step forward, and kudos to Brian and kudos to the volunteers and staff at Serve Wenatchee Valley that simply loved this young man.
Good stuff, really good stuff. Got about a minute. You can get involved with Serve Wenatchee Valley. You don't have to be affiliated with any organized religion at all. They'll take your check. They'll take your time. They'll take your blood, your sweat, your tears. They'll take whatever it is. How do people get a hold of Serve Wenatchee? How do they help you out, buddy?
The best way to do it is to go to our website.
Which I have right here.
We're, servewenatchee.org is a great place to connect and learn and understand what we do. Come into the office. Just drop by at 212 South Mission, just right over here. Give us a call on the phone if you have furniture to donate. One of the things that we're looking at right now is for just $25 a month, you can help keep a family in their home.
That's just $25 a month. That's
just
it.
$25 a month. You go online and give now and make a recurring donation of just $25 a month, and that helps to keep one family in their home.
Anything? We got about 30 seconds left. Anything on the calendar we need to know about? Plant that seed right now.
Stamp Out Food Hunger is coming up. Stamp Out Hunger. That's coming up on May 12th. Saturday. That is a postal carrier's food drive that we are a beneficiary
We'll have
of.
you back on with maybe a postal carrier guy on that.
That would be
Does that
wonderful.
work?
That'd be great.
Cool. All right, Tom Neese,
Man,
it's always
great
good
to be with
see
you
you
today.
How you doing there in Montana? It's Big Sky Country. Have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.